We'll do these exercises from here as well. Oh, no, I do not. Okay, it doesn't really matter because we can read from here. Everyone has a paper, and let's try to do that. So over here we got some adjectives. And as you remember last time we talked about how adjectives change depending on the noun, okay? So when the noun is neuter, it's going to have a certain ending. When the noun is feminine, it's going to have a certain ending, and then masculine. And maybe we can talk about that. So, for example, if the word is neuter, how would you change the word dobry? Which ending do you need? Yeah, it's going to be a. So in case it's neuter, adjective is going to be dobre instead of dobry. What about feminine? Yeah, it's a, so it's going to be dobra. And the last one is going to be masculine. It's the one here. So the ending is dobry. And then we've got the noun. So for example, good beer is going to be dobre pivo, because pivo is neuter. Dobra mama, good mom. Mama is feminine. And masculine may be tato, so it's going to be dobry tato, a good father. We're going to do the same, but let's take a look at these adjectives that I wrote down here. They're kind of common, so you're going to see them quite a lot. Could you try to read? So number one is going to be nice or beautiful or handsome. So it's about the man or about the view, about anything that is beautiful, handsome, or just nice. How do you say that? It's good, and the person is not good if it's her, remember. So let's try again. Harne. Alright, and let's just change a bit. So for the boy, it's going to be harne. And then we've got the girl. How would you change that for the girl? Sorry, didn't hear you, so we need it's going to be harna. That's good. And if something is good, like the view, for example, and it's more, the sea. So the sea is harna. Yeah, so every single time you just need to remove and you need to have these endings. So harna is number one. Let's take a look at the word big. How do you say big in Ukrainian? Okay, let's try. So it's going to be veliki. Yeah, one more time. Let's say veliki. Maybe let's just, I'll write down a few words. So neuter can be more, which means sea. It's going to be brat, which is brother. Oh, sorry. Sistra, which is sister. It's feminine. Sistra. And brat is going to be masculine. So let's try. We've got big sea. How would you say that? That's good. So what you do now, you've got the word veliki. You need to remove a and you need a. So let's say again, velika more. Alright, what about feminine? If the sister is a big sister, how do you say a big sister? Yeah, that's good. Let's say again, velika sestra. And what about a big brother? Yeah, that's good. Let's again, veliki brat. Alright, let's do exactly the same but with something small. How do you say small in Ukrainian? Yeah, good job, I heard you. Let's again, malenький. Malenький. Let's do exactly the same. How would you say a small sea? Yeah, that's good. We need ending a. Let's again, malenke more. What about small sister? Yeah, маленька сестра. And what about the small brother, little brother? Yep, that's good. Let's again, маленький брат. All right, and let's see the next thing. The next is going to be new. How do you say new in Ukrainian? Yeah, good. Let's again, новый. Maybe we need some new words. So what can be new? Maybe the car. Could you take one, please? So the car. How do you say a new car? Okay, машина is good, but let's do авто. Yeah, that's good. Let's say again. Новое авто. Something feminine. So what can be new? Maybe the pen. Ручка. Yeah, it's the pen you write with. So how do you say a new pen? Yeah, that's good. Let's again. Nova ручка. Okay, and one more is going to be this word. Yeah, that's good. Let's again. Новый marker. Yeah, a new marker. Okay, and let's just read the next ones again. So what about old? How do you say old in Ukrainian? Oh, the stress is on ы. Yeah, let's again, старый. Do you remember how to say grandpa? It's Russian in Ukrainian. It's 3 letters. E. D. Okay. So how do you say an old grandpa? Старый дед. That's good. What about good? Добрый. You know this. How do you say good afternoon? Yeah, добрый день. Then you get something mean or angry. How do you say that? Yeah, that's good. Once again, zlый. How do you say angry grandpa? Yes, zlый did. What about angry grandma? So you just need to remove ы, right? And then you have so it's zla. And if you remember, grandma is going to be baba, so zla baba. Yes, okay. Oh, angry grandma. Then you have the red color. Nice. Once again, червоный. Then you have cold. Холодный. How would you say, for example, cold tea? Yeah, холодный чай. That's right. What about cold day? And day is the same with the afternoon. So, how do you say afternoon? Day. So, how do you say? Yeah, that's good. Холодный day. Which means cold day. Then you have something happy or cheerful. Yeah, that's good. Let's again, веселый. And something yummy is going to be
Smaczny.
good. Let's again, смачный. And a very easy thing in Ukrainian, if you want to say something is not something, you need to add na. And this time, with the adjective, it's going to be together. So, now it means not kind or not happy, whatever you want to say. So, for example, if something is not beautiful, you could say, yeah, neharny. Or if something is not big, you could say, neveliký, and so on. So, over here, you've got 10 sentences, and we have to choose the right adjective for each sentence. I will help you with the first thing because it might be a bit confusing, and then at some point you're gonna do it by yourself. Okay? So number one, we've got to read the sentence first. And I saw some people who just joined us. Could you raise your hands if you don't have paper, because we got some papers today. Can you raise your hands if you do not have a paper? Brave enough to read the first name. So something about the little boy that likes football. How would you say that? Can you just not do the grammar yet, but read what you see?
Великий хлопец любит футбол.
Okay, no stresses, so it's a bit more complicated, but let's say великий хлопець любить football. Alright, so хлопець ends with the soft sign, which is a bit harder because every time you see the soft sign, you kind of need to think. It could be either masculine or feminine. So this time, chłopiec is the boy, so it's going to be masculine. Chłopiec. So it ends with the soft sign. But usually you just know it's you or soft sign is not that often to deal with. So over here, what would you write down in number one? Yeah, we don't change because chłopiec is masculine. Well, let's write it down. And we don't change anything. Number one. A big boy likes football. So you just have to write exactly the same, what you see in the brackets. In the brackets you have the letter K, which ends with A, and that's the masculine form. Since chłopiec is masculine, we don't change it, we just write exactly the same. The ending stays the same, the letter K. Okay, ready? Let's do the second one. Let's read what you see. What's in the brackets?
Malenka.
Yeah, good job. Let's say together. Malenki. And then the girl. How do you say girl?
Девичка.
Okay, it's hard, sorry. No stresses. Девчонка. And then likes. Любит. And ice cream.
Морозиво.
Nice. Let's say again. Морозиво. Morozovo is ice cream. So we need to say a little girl likes ice cream. How would you change Malenki? Ka, right? Yeah, we need the ending ka because Divchinka is feminine. First of all, you know it because it ends with a and all feminine words end with a. Feminine. And we need a. So all you need to write is just the right adjective, malenka, little. And maybe, let's say just one more time. So we've got to say, a little girl likes ice cream. Malenka дівчинка любить морозиво. Yeah, that's good. Let's move to number 3. So number 3 is going to be new. How do you say new?
Новый.
Nice. Let's again. Новый. Then a female student. How do you say that?
Студентка любит школу.
Yeah, good job. Let's say студентка. Любит школу. And what is школа? School. That's right. So we've got to say a new student, a new female student likes school. How do you change the word новый? Yeah, that's good. We need the ending a. So let's say нова. Студентка любить школу. Or, so in this sentence, we've got to say an old grandma loves tea. How do you say old in masculine?
Stary.
Stary, what about grandma?
Baba.
Baba likes
Lubić. Czaj.
chai. That's good. So how would you change stary?
Stara.
Stara. That's good. So we need to remove a and put in a. So we've got stara. Stara baba. So you just need to write an adjective, right? The whole sentence you got to write. Let's say one more time, okay? Let's go. Stara baba любить чай. Alright, now I have a good friend who likes pizza. How would you say good?
Dobry.
Nice. Let's again, добрый.
Dobry.
Friend,
Друг.
друг, that's good. Likes,
Lubić.
любить
Niczego.
pizza, that's good. So, which gender is друг? It's going to be masculine because hence was a consonant. So, which adjective do you need?
Dobry. Dobry.
Yeah, okay. We don't change since the noun is masculine. Alright, let's just read one more time, okay? Let's go. Добрый друг любит пиццу. Pizza. Alright, number 6 is going to be an angry boy doesn't like vegetables. Can you try to read that one? How do you say angry?
Zły.
Slave. Let's get once again, slave. A boy is going to be,
Chłopiec. Chłopiec.
do you say, let's say, chłopiec.
Chłopiec.
Doesn't like is going to be
Nie lubić.
nie lubić. And vegetables, yeah,
Oważ.
stress is on the first syllable. So, ovoci.
Oważ.
And since chłopiec is masculine, it ends with a soft sign. A bit hard to say, but this is easy only because boy is masculine himself. So how do you say the whole sentence? An angry boy doesn't like vegetables.
Zły. Chłopiec. Nie lubić owoci.
Yeah, good job. Once again, zły chłopiec nie lubić owoci.
Nie lubić owoci.
Yeah, that's good. You do not change. It's exactly the same. So the next thing is going to be the red fox likes meat. How do you say red? Czerwony, and then the first syllable is stressed. So it's going to be passes. Likes, любит, and meat is going to be mięso. Okay, so do you change? No, we don't change because passes is masculine. Hard to say, we need to remember, I'm just telling you. So ends with soft sign is masculine in this case. Sometimes it can be feminine. So every time the word ends with soft sign, you need to check in the dictionary or remember it. So czerwony passes любить mięso. Great, I promised to spend some time for you to do it by yourself, but I think let's just finish 8, 9, and 10 together. What do you see in the brackets? You've got cheerful. How do you say cheerful? Wesoły. Good. How do you say mama? Mama. Okay. How do you say likes?
Lubić
Любить. Likes music is going to be muzyku. So this time we need to change because mama is feminine, right? How would you change?
Jesla.
Yeah, good job. let's say just one more time. It's gonna be Весела мама любить музику. Okay, let's do number 9. So number 9 is about the family. How do you say family in Ukrainian?
Семья.
Yeah, that's good. So sim, if you remember, is 7, and I is yeah. So in Ukraine we say like the family consists of 7 people, so that's why it's 7I. We kind of like put grandmas and a kid. So that's what you would hear in the kindergarten, kind of. But it's just one word, which means family. Let's say семья. Okay, and over here you have nice family. So it could be either beautiful or nice. In this case, it's nice. How do you say nice? Гарний, and then family is going to be
Она,
семья. Likes is going to be
она, семья, любит,
любить, and house is going to be
дым.
deep. So like a nice family likes the house.
Она, семья, любит дым.
Yeah, that's good. So we need to change the up, and let's again. Гарна сім'я любить дім.
Она, семья, любит дым.
And the last sentence, number 10, is a bit different. It doesn't have the verb. It just says that the cold beer is very delicious. So how do you say? Oh, sorry, I actually spelled it for you because I didn't write it down in masculine form. So what do you see in the brackets? What's the word?
Завтра.
Yeah, okay, once again, холодне.
Холодно.
How do you say beer? Пиво. How do you say very? Yeah, that's good. Once again, дуже. And delicious is going to be nice. Once again, смачне. Okay, sorry, nothing to change for you. You need to end in "ad" because pиво is neutral. Alright, so for those who didn't write all the same, you have a chance to write it now because you have it in front of you. And after the end of the lesson, you're gonna send me the picture of this worksheet to the teams. So please make sure you got it. So from 1 to 10, it's in front of you. If you haven't written it yet, please do so. Alright, so the next part is going to be for a bit later. Now, we're just going to talk about Shevchenko again a bit more because we haven't finished last time. Alright, let's see. I do hope that after this class we talked about him so many times that you will all remember the surname Shevchenko. So Taras Shevchenko is our most popular, most famous writer and poet. And we talked a bit about his biography last time. So I hope you also remember that he was never wealthy. He was born as a slave in the family. He was born as a serf. But he always had a passion to studies, so that's why he was self-studied by himself, which is very impressive. So he learned how to read and how to draw by himself. So one of his first books is called Kabzar. It's the person who travels from one village to another and tells the stories to kids orally, because at that time there was no writing system when Kabzars were around. And it's the most famous book of his as well. The time when he wrote this book, he was in the army, and it was illegal to write in Ukrainian at that time. So it's a very famous story, or like a famous fact about him. He was writing the book, and he would keep the book in his boot while he was a soldier. And he had to hide it also because, as I said, at that time, Ukrainian was not allowed. So he was writing in Ukrainian, and he was always hiding it in his boot. And then he was also a very good artist, very talented artist. So people in Russia, in St. Petersburg, noticed him, and they decided to buy him and let him free, kind of. So they paid 2,500 rubles that they got from selling one of the paintings in a big art gallery, and they paid it to his master, and they let him free by this way. After that, he moved to Russia, but he never loved Russia that much. He never loved St. Petersburg that much, or like the vibes there. And he would keep writing about his love to Ukraine, his love to Ukrainian language, and so on. It's one of the reasons why he is still one of the most popular writers, because for us, history kind of never changed. It's kind of go back to the same things over and over again. So some of his early paintings, and maybe some of his later paintings, this one is based on one of his books, most popular books. So also we've got his poetry that pretty much all talks about Ukraine and his big love to Ukraine. One of them is My Testament, which goes like, when I die, please borrow me in Ukraine. So that's pretty much the whole poetry is by that. If you need to remember something about Shevchenko, please remember his huge love to Ukraine, and he has these like depressing vibes. So if we talk about Russian authors, for example, Dostoevsky is going to be quite depressing. In Ukrainian literature, it's Shevchenko. He has those depressing vibes too. So please scan this file. It's going to be one of his most popular poetries. You can also find it in iClass if for some reason the QR code doesn't work. So I also kind of want you to challenge yourself a little bit. Oh, why is it strange? It doesn't really make sense because I checked it a few times. Oh, it's because I need to pay now. Sorry guys, okay, this one. Maybe we can do it the old-fashioned way. Could you please go to iClass? And it's going to be over here. So please do it this way, okay? Lesson 6 materials, and then you've got Taras Shevchenko, and that's exactly the same file that I tried to do the QR code, but nothing is free these days. So that's the one. Taras Shevchenko, My Testament. And first you're going to listen to the poetry in English. It's going to be a Ukrainian person reading the poetry in Ukrainian. And maybe we can enjoy that first, and then we will do the Ukrainian reading. Okay, but first please do so. Please go to your iClass and download the text itself. So Taras Shevchenko is the name of the file. Taras Shevchenko 1 PDF. It's a sad poetry.
When I'm dead, Bury me, my beloved Ukraine. I tomb upon a grey mount, high, amid the spreading plains, amid the fields, the boundless steppes, the Dnieper's plunging shore my eyes could see. My ears could hear the mighty river roar. When from Ukraine the Dnieper bears into the deep blue sea the blood of foes, then will I leave these hills and fertile fields. I'll leave them all and fly away to the abode of God. And then I'll pray. But till that day I nothing know of God. Oh, bury me and raise ye up, and break your heavy chains, and water with the tyrant's blood the freedom you have gained. And in the great new family, the family of the free, with a softly spoken, kindly word, remember also me.
All right, so that was Taras Shevchenko in English, and I will try to check now. Oh yes, so if you want to enjoy Zapoget in Chinese, I'm afraid it's going to be simplified Chinese, but I do hope you can grasp the meaning. Over here, it's uploaded, so you can check a bit more from him in Mandarin. And maybe let's just go through a few sentences that I want you to pay attention to. So please remember that at that time, Ukraine wasn't such a thing politically. It was called Little Russia as a part of Russia. And obviously, people who lived in Ukraine knew that it was Ukraine and we spoke Ukrainian language, but it was oppressed, it was not allowed, and it was a very sad period for us Ukrainians. So this part is very, very famous. Right now, when the war started, you can see these words pretty much anywhere and everywhere. It's our anthem of the war, and it's an anthem of our freedom too. So his poetry is always about Ukrainian freedom, and that we need to pray and fight for our freedom. Yeah, it's very nice poetry actually. It sounds really, really beautiful in Ukrainian. And right now let's listen to it in Ukrainian too. So I'm gonna play it, and you please follow, okay? So I hope you have it in front of you, and let's do that. Sorry, the problem comes from this presentation. Something doesn't work here. So I can look inside. It's read by the same actor we listened to last time, remember? So that's him, the same voice behind. So let's listen and follow the text too.
Як умру, то поховайте мене на могилі, серед степу широкого, на Вкраїні милі, щоб лани широкополі, і Дніпро, і кручі було видно, було чути, як реве ревуче, як понесе з України у синє море кров ворожу. Ото й я, і лани, і гори все покину і повинну до самого Бога молитися, а до того я не знаю Бога. Поховайте та вставайте, кайдани порвійте, і вражою злою кров'ю волю окропіте. І мене в сім'ї великій, в сім'ї вольній нові, не забудьте пом'янути незлим тих. Молитва.
Oh, he didn't finish, so let's let him slow. Alright, so I also want you to read this little part over here. So please have it in front of you. And as I said, it's the most famous words on Instagram now too. It's like, wait, it's not this. Okay, so it goes like, oh, bury me, then rise up and break your heavy chains, and water with the tyrant's blood, and freedom you have gained. So pretty much it's just like a very motivational words for Ukrainians to keep fighting. And I guess it's not bad for us to read it too, so let's just do that.
Коло їх і не муруй, а доброзиждущим рукам і покажи, і поможи, святою силу не Яви Бога. Поховайте.
So it starts from here. And let's go. It's gonna be.
Поховайте та вставайте.
Let's say that. So let's again, поховайте та вставайте.
Кайдани порвійте.
Кайдани порвіте.
І вражою злою кров'ю.
І вражою злою кров'ю.
Волю окропіте.
Волю окропіте. Okay, so that was Taras Shevchenko, and pretty much the whole book is having the same vibes as the poetry you've just seen. So if you want to learn more about Ukrainian depressing side, it's over here. Please go there, download, and maybe enjoy it in Chinese. Alright, and right now, let's check the time. Oh, it's 4:54. I guess we can just listen to one song. Yeah, let's do that. So over here you've got the name of one of the most popular songs in Ukraine from the past. That's the name of it, and that's the translation. So what's the name again? Yeah, okay, once again, Червона рута. And it's one of the songs that your mothers would listen and you would listen because mothers listened, and at the end everyone knows this song. So lots of covers, every Ukrainian person that knows it. And the whole song is going to be about Червона рута. So what is Червона руta? It's kind of a flower that is really hard to find. So it's out there every 10 years. So in old times, and even nowadays, people in Ukraine are very close to nature. So for example, you guys, you get Chinese medication, which is based on herbs. Us Ukrainians also believe in the power of herbs, and we study that a lot. In old times, people also believed that you could go and predict the future with the help of flowers to know that. So usually ruta is yellow, but once in 10 years it's gonna turn red. So that's what girls and boys would look for to find the love person. And with that flower you can make the love potion. How do you say love potion in Ukrainian? That's the one, let's say char zilya. So if you read Ukrainian books, you could always hear a part where there is a girl who would go and kind of like look for char zilya because she wants someone to fall in love with her. A big part of Ukrainian culture is based on herbs and like medicine made of herbs. So these boys were super popular in the 60s, I believe, or maybe 70s, let me check. 70s. It's like the Beatles in the UK, and there were 4 of them, and they were super popular back then. So my mom would love that. Everyone's mom back then loved that.
Признайся мені, звідки в тебе ті чари, я без тебе всі дні, у полоні печалі, може десь у лісах, і шарзілля шукала, сонце руту знайшла, і мене щарувала.
Okay, so the song goes like, I'm not sure why I'm so much in love with you. I'm pretty sure that you went to look for this potion, and that's the reason why I'm so much in love with you. And the next is the chorus. Something that would make all Ukrainians go wild. I'm not sure if you have the analogy of this song, something that your mothers would listen to, and you kind of make fun of it growing up, but once you're an adult, you love it too. So this chorus is super famous for every Ukrainian. And they say, please don't go and look for the love potion anymore because I'm already very in love with you. That's why the public is not reacting, the audience is not reacting much. 30 or 40, even 60 years later, everyone knows this song, and there are so many covers. So if you're interested, you can find some new covers that sound a bit more modern, but the words are the same, and that's the original. So right now, let's do some roll call before we have a breakthrough for 10 minutes. Just give me 1 second. Okay. Roll call number is 9513. After this break, we're gonna do the worksheet. I upload it only today, so I'm sorry for being late, but please have it in front of you during the next class, so the one here, meeting in the library. And let's have a break. So once again, 9:05.
你好，下课时间了。那你毕业考完5月底毕业考完就剩下这个可能就都没有，不是都上4年级？5月底那个是不是就是4年级的课都是5月底就结束了，第15周就结束了。4年级的课只有线上的，其他都不是。所以你还要再读到6月。那在学校就会。 还是？
最多就是最后结果今天是我填了一个什么生命的道理20，然后他就说你今天填在速度，这样子什么怎样为了这么多要防止不要去填在那种出现像地方。我想他们俩同时找到我最后一个填空的信息，我也会放下去。
如果前越冷门的地方，前越乡下越冷门的地方是
北极大学。
在靠近北极圈的地方吗？
你看，这个大学只有监狱，可是那个这里头不是在念那种大学。
知道海参崴那个远东大学吗？我觉得那里不错啊。
之前那个大学你知道吗？然后他说觉得远东大学除了是他那边很多中国人，他们照这样子来讲是好还是不好？
可是我觉得海参崴那里的环境蛮好的啊，我去过啊，然后我还去过他们的学校看，因为我只是参观他的校门所以可是确实看到一些中国学生，但是我不知道算不算。
我都很多，这是应该算是特别的，
因为靠近东北哈尔滨那里，对，所以很多中国人会在那里做生意啊。
路上
啊？
中文。
还好哎，还好哎，但是有中国餐厅啊，有一些，但是我自己觉得还好啊，但是韩国人，那个时候韩国人蛮多的，我是说那时候还没有俄乌战争之前的时候，很多韩国人会在海参崴。所以，他们有说那里读书还要再读一科吗？哦，因为他是
讲什么味道？
现在俄语程度很好啊。
那可能是跟你们看起来，但是真的把很多事丢在面前讲，然后就有点危险。
对，因为他们讲话很快。所以到8月才知道结果。
希望我这我看现在是可以大学到7月1号之前可以申请。在想说，如果到时候5月结束，我有机会我想要去哪里？
你想要这个？所以是明年开始，明年去吧，还是怎样？
我跟曾经过，我好像去的是一个参加一次一个中国老师后的时间是看你的成绩，只要你够好就可以留进去。
就是看你的成绩表现吧。是。那你想读2年吗？还是？
可以读3年吧，读3年，1年2年。
那你要交毕业之前要交论文吗？
个人毕业。
我不知道他们是像台湾的研究生那样子，有字数限制吧？要想象写要规定写多少个字啊？对啊，我只是选2文的。那你写的中文好好的，那些公司电话、银行信号，对，好像差这边这个很方便。
Alright, so once again, please make sure you've got this document in front of you. That's something we're going to work on for the next 15 minutes. So let's take a look. It's going to be a little story from the library. And the library is located in this university. So surprise, surprise, the biggest university in Ukraine is named after Taras Shevchenko. So this school over here is called Kyiv National University, named after Taras Shevchenko. It's very famous for its red building. There are several campuses around the city, but this one is for the lawyers. It's the lawyer department. And it's next to the city center, quite a nice park is nearby. Taras Shevchenko is just here, that's his statue, so he's watching the university. And it's top one school, so for you guys it's going to be maybe National Taiwan University, I believe. And for us it's going to be a Kiev National University named after Taras Shevchenko. The only problem back then was that this school was very nationalized, so they would promote love to Ukraine a lot. So, if, for example, in some other schools you could speak Russian a bit like easier, I would say. So, for example, there are some kids from the regions where Russian is mostly common, so their Ukrainian maybe is not that great. So it would be a bit hard for them to study here because everything was very, very nationalized. Everyone would be forced to speak Ukrainian there. But that was kind of a problem 10 years ago. Now everyone tries to speak Ukrainian. So after the war happened, I'm not sure if I told you, but everyone tries to speak Ukrainian now, even if their Ukrainian is not good. We just try our best. So sometimes we use some Russian words instead, but everyone just tries, the whole nation tries to speak Ukrainian instead of Russian. Mostly because in Russian propaganda, they came to fight with Ukrainians to protect Russian-speaking people in Ukraine. And now everyone tries to kind of prove that there is no need to save us. And we speak Ukrainian, we don't speak Russian, so no need to save us, something like this. Alright, so once again, the story is about two kids who met in our Taras Shevchenko National University of Kiev. And let's read. So that's the first student from Japan. What's her name? That's good. Once again, Akari. And how do you say female student from Japan?
Студентка з Японії.
Yeah, that's good. So let's say the whole sentence. Akari, студентка з Японії.
Акарі студентка з Японії.
Yeah, which means Akari is a female student from Japan. And then they do mention her age. I'll write it down just in case you don't know how to say it. That's going to be number 19. So how do you say she's 19 years old? Yeah, good job. So let's again, їй 19. Yeah, so like скільки їй років? We could say їй 19 років. Yeah, she's 19 years old. And then we have a Ukrainian boy. What's his name? Yeah, that's right. It's here. Let's say again, Mykola. And where is he from? Yeah, good. Once again, студент з України. And we get to say he's 20. How do you say that? Yeah, good. Once again, йому 20 років. And before you had the word дуже. So дуже means very. And we don't change it since it's an adverb. So you could say вона дуже гарна, which means she's so beautiful. She's very beautiful. Sorry, but over here you have the word so, which is slightly different. So how do you say she is so beautiful? Yeah, over there. Can you see? Once again, вона така гарна. And така is an adjective, so we need to change the ending. So така. Once again, вона така гарна. And for the boy, so she's thinking he's so beautiful. What does she think? Yeah, he's so beautiful. He's so handsome, sorry. Once again, він такий гарний. And let's just imagine there is something beautiful too. So let's describe vono. How would you say it is so beautiful? Yeah, that's good. So, for example, the sea, море, you could say it is so beautiful. Let's say again, воно таке гарне. It is so beautiful. Воно таке гарне. All right, in a second they're gonna borrow the book or talk about the book, and the book is written by famous Ukrainian author. I'm pretty sure we'll talk about him. His name is Mykola Gogol. There is a huge argument where he comes from. Russian people say he's a Russian author because he was born in Little Russia back then. Ukrainians think he's Ukrainian because he was born in a Ukrainian city in Little Russia. If you ask Mykola Gogol himself, he would say that he's Ukrainian who works in St. Petersburg. That's how he would sign all the documents when he was traveling in Europe. So every time he needs to leave a signature in the hotel, he would say that I'm a Ukrainian living in St. Petersburg, a Russian city. So one of the most popular and famous books by him is the one here. What's the name? V. So V is like bad and scary spirit. It's a devil that opens the eyes and kills you. So in Ukrainian culture, it's the most powerful spirit ever. His name is V. So some Chinese that I wouldn't be able to translate, but I think it says that it's a story about the boy who came to the village, and then he had to spend the whole night with the spirits. So he was dealing with the witch, and the witch tricked him, and then she kind of brought all other spirits. So the whole night he just tried to protect himself from all the spirits, and he managed. No one killed him, so big success for him. Very popular and famous book for Ukrainians. So right now it's time to read the story. It goes between the boy named Mykola and the girl called Akari, right? So let's write. And they're flirting pretty much, so it's going to be a few lessons on them. First they meet, then they go to the restaurant, and I think it might be useful for you too, guys. We'll talk about dating culture after this. So usually the boy wants to kind of like come and talk to the girl in Ukraine. It's very ordinary, so it's not a big deal. Almost everyone kind of tries to flirt and hit on girls on the street. Very, very common, not like here. So his line is going to be, "Hi, do you speak Ukrainian?" It only works with foreigners, obviously. So what does he say? It's good. So like, "Hi, do you speak Ukrainian?" Once again, "Привіт. Ти розмовляєш українською?" Yeah, so once again, "Hi, do you speak Ukrainian?" Привіт, ти розмовляєш українською? І Akari says that she does speak Ukrainian indeed. So what does she say? So we've learned that, I think during the first semester, so when you speak languages, I would just kind of separate it, okay? Let's go. Розмовляю українською. And it's something you can tell about yourself from now on. You can say, "I speak Ukrainian," which is going to be "Я розмовляю українською." Yeah, okay. And then Mykola says something. What does he say? Okay, let's try again, but everyone. Let's go. Тебе дуже цікава книжка. Anyone who can try to guess what this one means? Maybe a Russian department.
Okay.
So it goes like, "You have a very interesting book." So let's say that again. В тебе дуже цікава книжка. Okay, so книжка is book, since it's feminine, the word interesting has ending up. Ciekawa means interesting. And then he asks, what is it? How do you say that? Yeah, good. Once again, Shota. And then she explains that this is Mykola Vohol, and this is his book called B. So what does she say? Sir? B, that's good. So once again, for those who forgot, Mykola Vohol is this guy. So once again, Це Mykola Vohol. B. And then she says, I really like to read.
Я дуже люблю читати.
Yeah, good. So дуже should be put before люблю. So дуже means very. So I like to read very much. It's going to be я дуже люблю читати. If you really like coffee, you can say я дуже люблю каву. Something like that. So once again, я дуже люблю читати. I like to read very much. And then he said that he also likes to read. How do you say also in Ukrainian?
Я дуже люблю читати.
That's good. Once again, я теж люблю читати.
Я теж люблю читати.
And then if you want to say and also, it's going to be the one here. How do you say and also?
А ще я люблю каву.
Yeah, good. So and also I love to drink coffee. Once again, а ще я люблю каву. And then he asks, do you like to drink coffee? How do you say that?
Ти любиш пити каву?
Good. Once again, ти любиш пити каву?
Ти любиш пити каву?
And then she says, yes, I love to drink coffee very much. How do you say that?
Так, я дуже люблю
пити каву. Так, я дуже люблю пити каву. And then he offers something. So, давай is a very useful word. It can mean so many things. Давай can mean like, let's do something, or like, please give it to me, or like, come. Yeah, cheering up. Like, давай means like, please, like, jail kind of thing. It means pretty much anything. Very useful word, just one. Over here, he says, let's go for coffee. How would you say that? Kavo. That's good. Once again, давай сходимо на каву. And then he asks the phone number. Який твій номер телефону? Okay, so який means what, or which. Твій means your. Number is number and telephone is phone. So what is your phone number? Let's again. Який твій номер телефону? Okay, so he said like, let's go for coffee, and she said, yes, let's do that. What do you say?
Так, давай.
Good. Once again, так, давай. And she says her number. Мій номер. Good. And what's her number? 8 1 2 7 6 3 1 5 9. Alright, and then he's surprised because Ukrainian numbers start just like you guys have. Chula Telecom, so for Ukrainians it's the same number. 087 is Ukrainian number too. So he's surprised. What does he say? 8 1. Yeah, it's kind of like he's surprised why is it 81 not 087. And then he asked, where are you from? Yeah, good. Once again, звідки ти? And then she says, I'm a student from Japan. З Японії. And what's her name? Звати Акарі. And then he says, I'm Mykola.
Mykola, дуже приємно.
Yeah, I hope you remember, дуже приємно means nice to meet you. Yes, thank you. Let's again, дуже приємно.
Приємно.
Okay, tiny little dialogue. Over here, you've got the questions. I will read the questions, please try to find the answer, okay? You don't need to give the full answer, just one word will be fine, and then we'll try to figure out. So I read the question, please do your best to find the answer in the text. Okay, number one, як його звати? Його means, yeah, what's his name? So let's try to find, як його звати? Його звати Микола. Yeah, good job. So his name is Mikola. Up to you, you can just write down Mikola, it's good enough. If you want the whole answer, it's going to be his name, його звати. Mikola. His name is Mikola. So let's say that. Його звати Микола. So, question number two. Як її звати? Yeah, that's good. So the question is, what is her name? And the answer is, her name is Akari. Let's say it. Її звати Akari. And then you've got one more question. Звідки? Nice, thank you for reading. So, звідки вона? And the answer is Z. Yeah, good job. So she is from Japan. The question is, where is she from? And let's say, вона з Японії. Alright, number 4. Номер 4. Звідки він? Oh, yeah, it's over here actually. Він з... Yeah, that's good. So he is from Ukraine. Він з України. One second. Oh, actually, I have it written here. Once again, він з України. Question number 5. Скільки їй років? Yeah, and he is dative for her. So how old is she? How old is she? Yeah, well done, thank you. Їй 19, so she's 19, but you just can write down the number. Їй 19. And then you've got the question number 6. I'll read the question for you. Що вони люблять? Oh, sorry. I want to go back, but there are two things they both like. Що вони люблять? That's good. So number 1, they like to read. Вони люблять читати. What else did they like to do? I'll go back, okay? You try to find it. So they like to read and... Yeah, well done. And they like to drink coffee. It's over here. So let's again, читати. Пити каву. Yeah, two things they like. They like to read and drink coffee. So it's over here. Once again, вони люблять читати. І пити каву. So number 7 is going to be вони люблять каву. Good job. So the question is, do they like coffee? And the answer should be yes, they like coffee. But I will just stop for a bit, so those who are writing can have some time to finish. more time. Вони люблять каву. What do you say? They do like coffee, right? So let's say так. Вони люблять каву. Yeah, yes, they like coffee. But I feel like it's too long for you to write, so you're just going to write down yes or no. Good enough. And the last question is going to be if they like wine. So the question is, вони люблять вино. What do you say? So you get to say they don't like wine. How do you say don't? Nah, right? So the whole sentence is going to be ні. Oh, you can say не люблять, right? Let's see. So it's going to be ні. Вони не люблять вино. Right, so ne means don't. So they don't like, just like in English, the same pattern. They don't like wine. So a few more minutes for you to finish. If it goes too long, you're just going to write down yes and no. Good enough. Okay, so let's talk just a bit about dating culture in Ukraine. It's kind of a long text. I think you have it on your worksheet, just in general. It's all based on the man being a gentleman and the girl being a lady. So that's something that boys and girls grow up with. So you would hear from your parents something like, oh, but you've got to be a gentleman, or like for a girl, it's like, you've got to be the lady. What does it mean for us Ukrainians? Pretty much, we took everything from the French etiquette, and maybe while French people went a bit more, I would say, like equal and feministic, in Ukraine we still try to keep it more traditional in terms of dating. So it's always the man who kind of like approaches the girl first. So he could be the one that approaches you on the streets or pretty much anywhere. So it's always on the man, and they just learn not to be afraid to get rejected, and not even once. So I think it's very interesting about Ukrainian culture. I will write down a sentence and you will try to translate, okay? Sorry, just break it. Okay, should be easy for you to read. So it goes like ні, це так, але потім. Okay, so let's translate. You know these words. Ні means no, isn't it? Is yes. Oh, it could be. Or is she, but ale is but. So it means like no, it's yes, but later. And it's something that men live with. So even if the girl says no to you at first, we are not like, let's say, some Western countries. That would be like no means no. In my culture, if the girl says no, you got to see her other like signals. If she keeps replying to you, if she keeps smiling sometimes, if she has any contact, it actually means yes, but the girl wants to have like more actions toward her. So the only way to know that no means no is when she doesn't reply at all. Like if there is no sign, if she never replies, that's a no. if she's kind of flirting, it's a yes but later. That's the part of my culture, but be careful with that. It needs more investigation for you guys. We feel it more. So for men, how does the girl expect those actions? Obviously, it's like going out for coffee, dinners. Also, flowers are huge in my culture. Not as much in Taiwan, but for us, you go to the metro, and the metro is full of flowers. So it's just made for men to kind of like easily get flowers on the way on a date or like to the house. The whole dating culture is based on like buying flowers and giving flowers to the girl. Not only on special dates, but like just regular dating. It's all about getting flowers to a girl. And also like offering some help, obviously. And then you just need to be a gentleman, pretty much. Just give nice compliments, pay for dinners, open doors, offer the jacket when it's cold, and so on. So at first it's like more complicated for the guy, and girls like to make it complicated for him. So they kind of like do everything to make sure he kind of suffers in the beginning. So she sees that he's interested. Very different from Western culture, I would say, because usually Western men, as I know, they wouldn't approach as much. I'm not sure about Taiwanese dating culture. I don't feel like I have a right to talk about that, but in Ukraine it's a lot about like approaching the girl and like proving that he is in love and that the girl would kind of like react back. And funny enough, in the beginning the girl doesn't need to do anything, she just needs to appreciate the actions. And men should be alright with that. So she could say, "Дякую, ти турботливий," which means like, "Thank you, you're so caring," and that should be enough. But it's only like the first stages of dating. Obviously, later on, it all changes, but just in the beginning. Yeah, it's all about the men's actions in the beginning. Very, very important for us. And we hope not to change it ever. So we girls, Ukrainian girls, try to kind of be strict and like make sure this never changes. And there are some useful phrases for Ukrainian dating, so maybe we can do that. So first of all is compliment. Over here you get the sentence "в тебе." You've heard it before. Over here when he said "в тебе дуже цікава книжка." So "в тебе" means you have. And then let's see how you can compliment. And there is the most common compliment. So number one, you could talk about the eyes. How would you say "you've got beautiful eyes"? Yeah, good job. So if you want to say "you've got beautiful eyes" in Ukrainian, let's say "в тебе дуже гарні очі." Yeah, you've got beautiful eyes. Then the second one is going to be about the smile, a very common compliment too. So most often we'll compliment the eyes and the smile. I think it's international. So how would you say "you've got a beautiful smile"? Oh, sorry, my bad. It's here. Посмішка. Which means smile. You have a beautiful smile. Let's say again. В тебе гарна посмішка. And usually we compliment men's hands. I'm not sure if it's strange for you, but if you want to compliment the man, we usually say "you have nice hands." Of course, you can say anything, but this is a common thing to compliment. It's like not too much, not too little, just good enough for the beginning. So how do you say "you've got nice hands" or arms? Yeah, okay, that's good. So like hands and arms, the same word for us. So let's again, "в тебе гарні руки." Yeah, and usually it's the one that we give to the man. So that's you've got beautiful hands, you've got beautiful arms. And then, as I said, men usually approach girls on the streets. So one of the most historical questions, and maybe it's very weird for you, but the guy usually comes to the girl and he could ask how to get to the library. It comes from very old times, like probably Soviet Union times. So that's how the guy would kind of like start the conversation, and everyone knows that he wants to get your number and he's flirting. He doesn't go to the library actually. So you could ask like, how are you going to the library? The question is, як
check.
Yeah, good job. Once again, як пройти в бібліотеку. Yeah, alright. So they, of course, men are way more creative than this, so it could be any conversation starter. But this one is also a joke, you know, so it's like it started in Soviet Union time. If the guy comes with it, everyone knows, and so it's kind of funny for us. So it could be one of the conversation starters. And then they could offer something to do. Number one, they can offer to go for coffee. How do you say that? Давай сходимо каву. Which means like, let's go drink coffee. Or he could say, let's go to the restaurant. Давай сходимо в ресторан. Yeah, which is like, let's go to the restaurant. Once again, давай сходимо в ресторан.
Давай ходимо в ресторан.
And the lessons, let's go to the movies. So these are the most popular places for a date. How do you say let's go to the movies? Сходимо в кіно. Okay, once again, давай сходимо в кіно. Kino. And then you can say, yes, let's do that. How do you say it? Yeah. Good. Once again, так, давай. And Ukrainians are very direct. I know that in your culture it might be rude to say no. For us, it's not rude. So if Ukrainians seem to be direct to you, we're not trying to be rude. We just have a very direct question, and it's a language, and it's okay to say no if you don't want to. I guess no one gets offended by it. No, it's just a norm of the language. So if someone asks, do you want to go to the movies? We don't pretend like, oh, maybe later. We could, but we can say no, thank you as well. It's fine, it's accepted. So how do you say? Дякую. And I think it's a good part of Ukrainian culture. I would say so, because usually, because of this being direct, you always know how people feel about you. So maybe sometimes it's harder to know if someone kind of like likes you or not. If the language is that direct, and it's like if you act that direct, it's very easy to tell who is actually genuine or not. So a good thing for me, I feel like. And then if you want to ask for some communication means, like for line or something, that's what you can ask. Let's go. So how do you say, do you have line? Тебе є line. This one is almost WhatsApp. Okay, what else? Facebook. And the last one is Instagram. That's good. And then she would say, for example, yes, I have Instagram. How would she say? Yeah, for example, she has Instagram, so she says, так, в мене є Instagram. So в мене means I have, and yeah is still the part of the construction, so в мене є Instagram, I have Instagram. Alright, I feel like that's it for the dating culture part. So now let's move to the hardest part of our lesson today. We go back to the worksheet. And this time, please make sure we will do numbers 1 to 3 together. Number 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 is for you to finish. And you will take a picture and send it to me. And after that, if you finish earlier, you can go home earlier too, okay? So, let's see, you've got 10 sentences in front of you. And you've got to put the word in the right form. All of them are in the first conjunction because they end with ate. All you've got to do is to choose the pronoun and the right ending. I hope you remember how to do that, but let's try to remember with the first three. Over here, let's read what you see. It starts with Я
Music.
Yeah, good. So in this exercise, you have 3 words. You have the word слухати, which means listen. And музику means music. What you've got to do, you've got to remove the, and you need to choose the right ending. Yeah, that's good. So the right ending is you. So let's say, я слухаю музику. Which means I listen to music. Number 2 is going to be play. Play football. So let's see what you've got here. You've got you. How do you say you? Ты. And then you have play. Грати. And then in football. Football. Okay, so in Ukrainian we say play in football. Грати в football. How do you say you play football? Yeah, good job. So we have гра and we need яш for ты. So you play football. Let's say again, ты граєш у футбол. And then the next thing is going to be гуляти. Гуляти means to walk. So let's see what you've got. You've got he. How do you say he? Він. Then you have walk. Гуляти. And in the park. Парку. Okay, so the ending for he, she, it is here. So it's not just він, it's вона and воно. So how would you say he walks in the park? Yeah, good job. So we've got гуля and we need я. So він гуляє. Once again, він гуляє в парку. Okay, so the rest is going to be for you. When you finish, please take a picture. But let's just read and translate really fast. Can we? So number 1 is she. How do you say she? Вона. Then you have listen. How do you say listen? Слухати. And пісню means song. So you've got to say she listens to the song. Okay, the next one is we. How do you say we? Ми. That's good. How do you say walk? Гуляти. That's good. How do you say in the park? You can say v or u. It's the same. It doesn't matter. It's still in the park. Okay, the next is going to be you. How do you say you? V. It's up to you, but maybe it's similar. How do you say play? Грати. Good job. How do you say chess? Yeah, good job. Let's say у шахи. It means you play chess. Then you got they. How do you say they? Вони. Listen is going to be слухати, and teacher is going to be. Yeah, good job. Вчителя. So you've got to change the endings in. Then you have I. How do you say I? How do you say play? Грати. How do you say piano? Good. Let's say again. Na pianino. Na pianino. Then you have we. How do you say we? Ми. Again, listen is going to be nice, and news is going to be nice. Once again, no rhythm. And the last one is going to be you. How do you say you? How do you say walk? Гуляти. And these two means near the river. So how do you say near? Біля. And river is going to be річки. That's all. So the translation is not that important. The important part is to put these verbs in the right form. So the endings are here. Please do so. When you're finished, please take a picture, send it to me, and that's all for today if you're done.